So which intermittent fasting regimen is the best? Well, keep watching to find out today. Hi, I'm Alex, a sports dietitian and nutrition coach. Welcome to my channel. Great to have you here. So intermittent fasting in recent years has become a very popular diet, and it's predominantly due to the fact that it's been seen as a weight loss solution. Some would even say one of the best weight loss solutions. Others tout that it's the best health solution. To be honest, intermittent fasting has been connected to so many different benefits that it's become to the point where it's tiptoeing the lines of being a fad diet and being a normal diet.
No shit.
And if I'm truly honest, how I've seen it used and how I've seen people approach intermittent fasting, a lot of people use it as a fad diet, a temporary fix. But that's not the discussion for today. Today I want to share what I personally have, through my experience and through my expertise as a sports dietitian, believe to be the best way to approach intermittent fasting. Now, full disclosure, when I'm talking about best today, I'm not talking about the effectiveness of achieving quick weight loss or achieving this and that. I'm talking about overall, what one is the best thing that I would recommend if someone really has to do intermittent fasting versus the other ways. So yeah, don't think that best means best fat loss diet. That's not what we're talking about today. And remember, with dieting, it's not about finding the best diet. So many other factors you have to consider. So if you've looked at intermittent fasting to some degree, any degree, you'll know that there's so many different ways to do it. AKA, there's so many forms, so many regimens, so many different kind of styles and strategies when it comes to the kind of global term of intermittent fasting. You've got the 16-8 diet, you've got the 5-2 diet, you've got the warriors diet, you've got the 24-hour fasts, and I'm sure you've got a whole bunch of other new ones that are coming out as well. But those are kind of the main ones people know of. So which one do I personally see as the best, or the one that I would recommend most for people who are beginning? Well, that quite simply is the 16-8 diet. And I'll explain exactly why. So the 16-8 regimen when it comes to intermittent fasting is very simple. Essentially, you're fasting for 16 hours and then you're eating within an 8-hour window. So that's what the 16-8 kind of corresponds to. It's 16 hours and 8 hours. 16 hours fast, 8 hours eating. Simple. And the biggest reason that I say that this is the best one, or the one that if you really must do intermittent fasting, it's probably the one that you want to try out, is because it mimics normal eating to the best degree compared to the other ways of doing intermittent fasting. And it's not as drastic when it comes to actually implementing it compared to something like a 24-hour fast, where you're basically not eating for a whole 24 hours, which is definitely not necessary unless you're doing it for reasons other than dieting. So as you can already see, 16-8, yes, you could consider that only eating during an 8-hour window could be restricted compared to what you're used to already. But that's the whole point of intermittent fasting. If you're doing intermittent fasting, don't be expected to not be restricted to some degree. That's the purpose of it. That's the kind of the MO of intermittent fasting, is to be restricted to some degree. But at least it kind of mimics normal eating to some degree. So let's give you an example. An intermittent fasting regimen could look like where you don't eat until 12 o'clock, and then you eat between 12 o'clock and 8 p.m. at night. So you can fit in lunch, you can fill in a couple of snacks, you can fit in dinner, and maybe even a snack after dinner if you really want to. And then you go, okay, no more eating. Until the next day when it's 12 o'clock again. So some people already don't eat breakfast. So you could already see that some people are kind of indirectly doing intermittent fasting, as in they're kind of doing it, but they're not kind of saying, I'm doing intermittent fasting. And that's what I mean by 16-8 being a more natural way of doing it, if there is a natural way of doing intermittent fasting. And because of the fact that the 16-8 diet is the most natural in some ways, and the one that's kind of the easiest to implement, it's kind of the most sustainable as well. If you're going into intermittent fasting and you start doing like a warrior's diet where you eat nothing the whole day, and then at night you just gorge yourself, first of all, that's not good for health and for overall nutrition anyway. But even then, not many people are going to be like, oh, I really enjoy this regimen. I enjoy starving myself all day and then waiting until the end of the evening and then eating a whole bunch. The 16-8 is just a lot more mild. It's like a mild form of intermittent fasting, but at the same time, mild is good in this case because mild enables you to be more sustainable, enables you to enjoy the process more, and also prevents any of those unnecessary negative adaptations that very restricted dieting can kind of create. So yeah, as you can see, my reasoning for why 16-8 is my kind of the best one, the preferred one, is simply because it really is the least drastic one, while still encompassing the essence of intermittent fasting, which is reducing the eating window so that you can maybe eat less calories through not eating those unnecessary snacks, which is kind of the premise of what people doing intermittent fasting for are doing it for. But at the same time, I also recognize that intermittent fasting is not this fat loss solution, that you have to use intermittent fasting and that it's a lot better than other diets. It is not. It is not the best fat loss diet. It is not the best health diet. And in many ways, it really is an unnecessary way of eating. And as I tell all my clients who ask me about this and people who ask me on social media about intermittent fasting, what do you think about it, Alexa? I always say it's one of those classic examples of a diet that can be done correctly or incorrectly, but when done correctly, it has to be done correctly in the right way, for the right person, for the right reason. There's a very good chance that you watching this right now, wondering about intermittent fasting, probably shouldn't even be doing intermittent fasting because it just won't suit what you're after. But that's a topic for another day. That's something for me to discuss with you if you do want to, but that's something that just to consider. That just because we're talking about intermittent fasting does not mean that we're saying intermittent fasting is the best out there. Do 16-8. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying consider through the global scope of what intermittent fasting is, 16-8 will probably be the best one to start with if you really must do it. And that's what this video was about, to just give you that information. So there you go. Now you know about intermittent fasting and the fact that the 16-8 diet is the one that I as a sports dietitian would recommend most if you must do intermittent fasting, and that intermittent fasting in itself is only as good as the reason behind it and the implementation behind it as well. So now if you've got any questions, please let me know. I've got my details in the description notes below, so you can reach out and let me know. But I also want to know, okay, drop a comment below and let me know, do you currently do intermittent fasting or have you done it in the past? And what was your experience like? Share in the comments below. Also, before I let you go, I just want to say that if you do want to work with a sports dietitian, okay, if you're interested, you're like, oh, Alexa, I want you to help me. Okay, I was thinking intermittent fasting was this greatest thing ever, greatest thing since sliced bread, and now I'm not really sure, and I'm really stuck with nutrition. Can you help me? Well, yes, let's talk. Okay, let's see if I can help you through my nutrition coaching experience. There's the notes in the description notes below, okay, about how you can reach out, how you can apply, how you can let me know if you're interested, and go from there. Remember to hit the like button if this video was informative and taught you something new about intermittent fasting. And before you go, remember, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, subscribe so you can stay in the loop whenever I release a video. Until next time, stay classy. See you later. Bye.